Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and for those of you who don't know me or are new to my channel, my name is Anvi Vijh and I would love it if you take a moment and subscribe to my channel below. So today's video is all about acrylic painting, more like abstract acrylic painting. So this is something that I have been doing since I was in 7th and I'm in college right now, so that means like 5-6 years, and I think it's safe to say that I have some experience in it now, and I would love to share it with you guys for all those who want to start acrylic painting or who want to start abstract painting and are lost and don't know where to start, how to go about it. Do watch this video, and in the first part of the video I'm going to be telling you guys how to make an abstract acrylic painting. So I'll be making a painting for you guys, with you guys, and I'll be giving step-by-step instructions. And in the second part of the video I will be showing you guys some canvases that I have made throughout my painting journey, and I will give you some tips and tricks about how I made those canvases and what you can do to improve your painting skills. And yeah, so basically I'll just take you on my whole painting journey and my painting experience that I had throughout these years. So stick around if you want to see some of my canvases, which I think you should, because yeah, they're really nice. So please stick around till the end of the video. So for the first part of the video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make an abstract acrylic painting, and I'll insert those clips right now. Hey guys, so I'm going to start painting now, and before I start I just wanted to give a little introduction about like how I start and everything. So obviously everybody needs an idea for every painting, and for the painting that I'm going to do right now, I got the idea from something that I saw myself. So I went on a little walk by myself in my neighborhood, and I saw this really beautiful plant, and I took a picture of it from like the top view, and it looks really beautiful. I'll insert the picture right here. So this is my inspiration for the canvas. I'm going to try and recreate it, not exactly, but yeah, it's my inspiration, so I'm going to try and recreate it as much as I can. So yes, this is what we're going to paint today. Okay, so the first thing that I do before starting any canvas is to prime the canvas. Now this step is as important as doing primer before makeup is, you know, like to make the base, to allow the base to absorb the paint nicely and make it more shinier and make it, you know, sit nicely on the canvas. So yeah, the first thing that I do is prime my canvas, which I have done. I did it a few days ago, and I prime it using the Camel Artist's gesso. I'll insert here what it looks like, and yeah, so that is what I use to prime my canvas.
The next step is to paint the most basic colors that you see in your inspiration. It's preferred if they are yellow or white, since that makes it easier to layer it with other colors. Here I've also used green, as that is also a very dominant color. And don't worry about the blending, as we are going to paint many more coats on top of this. So now it's time to add all the actual colors into your painting and blend them well. Take it part by part and make sure to perfect one part before moving on to another. For blending the colors, paint both the colors by leaving a little space in between them. Now take the same brush that you used to paint those colors, make sure that the brush isn't wet, and start blending the colors to cover up that little space. Keep in mind that both the colors aren't completely dry or it won't blend well. This step is the one that would take up majority of your time and make most of your painting. This is also the time when you should make sure that your overall drawing is correct. By that I mean that all the shapes and proportions is how you want them to be, because after this it will be very difficult for you to correct them. For my acrylic paintings, I use the Camel Artist's acrylic colors or the Sakura acrylic paints. Now the last step is the step that adds life to your painting. It's time to add some depth to the painting, give it some highlights to give it the light and shadow effects, and add other little details that make the painting look complete. I decided to add yellow to the leaf to give it highlights and black in the center to give it the perception of depth. I also redid the paint in some places where I thought it was needed.
So this was my little tutorial on how to make an abstract acrylic painting for beginners, and I think after you've seen it you'll realize it's not that much of a big deal. All you need to do is let yourself free and let your hands be free, let your mind be free, and paint some strong confident strokes, and I think you'll get a great painting out of it. Okay, so now I'm going to be telling you guys about my experience of abstract acrylic painting. Honestly, I think a lot of you guys have this notion that abstract art is so difficult because in realistic art all you have to do is copy something real, and in abstract art you need to think something of your own. But I think that it just depends on the kind of person that you are and the kind of creativity that you have inside you, because for me realistic painting is so difficult. Like, I just cannot make a realistic painting because I'm a perfectionist. So then, like, I have to copy each and every detail from that realistic thing and I have to make it look exactly like that real thing that is there, and that gets very tedious for me. So I don't like realistic paintings. But on the other hand, abstract paintings are something that I love because there's something that there's no wrong in abstract paintings. You know, whatever you do, it's always right in abstract paintings because it's abstract. You know, there's no right or wrong in it. So if you look at it that way, abstract is way better than realistic. But hey, that's my opinion, you can have yours, so don't come at me. Now I'll get into my journey of painting. So I started painting canvases when I was in 7th, and my first canvas that I painted was a Durga canvas, which I will put the canvas right here. And it's abstract, of course, but it's not something great. Obviously, it was my first canvas ever. And yes, I came up with the idea myself, and then my teachers and my tutors helped to execute the idea. But as you can see, the shading is not great, the proportions are not great, but it was a start for me. Then from there was no going back. After that, I started loving making canvases. Okay, so after that I made a lot of canvases, but my major big canvas was a 36 by 36 canvas that I made, which I'll insert right here. So this was not an original canvas that I made. I copied it from another painting, a painting of a very famous artist, and I did put my own touches to it. Like, I think I changed the color scheme a little bit, but yeah, the major idea of the painting is copied, so I don't take credits. But if you look at it closely, some part, like the flower parts of this painting, are embellished, and that is because I have used texture white to make those flower thingies. And so how you basically do it is that you get texture white already made, and then I put it in like a, you know how you do icing on top of a cake? So I made like an icing cone of my own with the help of a Ziploc. I put the texture paint in it, and then I made these flowers like I was doing icing on top of a cake. So that is how I made these flowers, and then I just dabbed some golden paint on top of it to make it look nicer. So that is a trick that I used in this painting. Also, another thing that I should mention is that I have used oil paints in this painting, and I used just a little bit of it, not too much. But yeah, this was my first exposure to oil paints, and this is when I realized that I really shouldn't be doing oil paints and they're not meant for a person like me. Then coming to the next painting was another 36 by 36 canvas that I made in school, and again, for the backdrop of it, you will see that the background is really textured and really rough. So in this painting also, I have used texture white in the background. How I use texture white in this painting is that I put texture white directly on the canvas, and then I took a roller. I don't exactly remember what roller it was. It just was there in the art room in my school. So I took a roller and then I just rolled it. So it automatically gave texture white that texture. But yeah, so it automatically gave it that texture on the backdrop. And then I just normally painted on top of it, and I made these beautiful flowers on top of it. Again, this painting is also not completely original. It is a copied painting, but it's not completely copied, because in the process of making this painting I did change things up a little bit here and there. So you'll see there's a trend in all of my paintings that even if I have copied a painting, it's not exactly copied. I have put my touch somewhere here and there. The next painting was a little chotu cute painting, but one of my favorite paintings. So it's this one. It's a Ganesha painting, and I know by looking at it you're like, oh my god, it's so difficult, it's so many colors, how did you blend it and everything? But the key to making such a painting is to go part by part. What I mean is, when you look at the painting, first of all, obviously make a rough drawing of it. Then decide, like, give yourself one part, like decide I'm going to do this part today. And by the way, this painting is also copied, so I had a reference and I knew which color goes where, and I knew what I had to paint. So I decided that I'm doing this part right now. So I just took those two colors and did that part as beautifully as I could and blended it as nicely as I could. So this way I went part by part and I put the whole painting together. So it's almost like a puzzle, you can say, putting one part together. And yeah, that's how I completed this painting. And it's not as tough as it looks. You just need to be patient, concentrated, and just take it part by part. The next painting is a huge painting that I made. Actually, it's the biggest painting that I've made till date, and it's a unicorn painting, so I will insert it here. And I really love this painting. Like, it's one of my favorite paintings, and it is copied, but I didn't copy a painting. It was a graphic and I turned it into a painting, so you can say that it's copied. But yeah, again, a lot of blending went into this painting, but the key was to go layer by layer, like put the first layer of paint first, then blend the second layer on top of it, then do another layer. Especially like the body, blending the, I'm looking that way because the painting is right there in front of me. Especially the body, blending the purple and the white was so difficult. Like, I remember doing it again and again and again, because like I said, I'm a perfectionist, so I just couldn't be satisfied with the blending I had done. So I just kept on doing it again and again until I was like, oh my god, I have to stop or this will never end. So even now when I look at the painting, I'm like, I could have blended that part a little better, I could have blended that part a little better. But that's just the perfectionist in me speaking. Now coming to my original paintings, one of my original paintings that I absolutely love is this one. So it is a very easy original painting. I mean, the idea is very simple. There's not much going on. There's just a background and a simple bird in the middle. So obviously making the bird was not tough. The tough part was the background. But if I remember correctly, I don't think I had a very distinct idea of what I wanted to make when I started it. Like, I knew I wanted to make a nice background and then something black on top of it. So I just started, and then I just had this idea suddenly that I'll do dark on the edges, then I'll go lighter as I come in the middle, and it just turned out like it is on its own. So yeah, and again the blending, very difficult. I remember doing it again and again until I was like, okay, now I think I'm satisfied with it. My next original painting, which I am most proud of because that is my best original painting that I've made, is this one. So it's a 24 by 24 inch canvas, and the idea behind it was like, I knew that I wanted to make like a tree trunk, and then I wanted to make something very colorful around it. So you must be wondering how I did the strokes inside the tree. So for the strokes on the tree bark, tree trunk, whatever, I have used a spatula, and I have actually really started loving using a spatula because the texture that it gives is very different from what you get from a brush. Sometimes your painting requires that spatula wala texture, but yeah, I do recommend using a spatula. It does give a really nice and a really different texture. For the leaves on top, I have just used a paintbrush. So I did one color, I let it dry, I did strokes of another color, I let it dry, then another color, then another, and that's how this whole leaves, and that's how the whole top part of the tree came together. And for the lower part of the painting, again I have used a spatula. And now coming to those little butterflies that you see, so that was not something that I had initially planned to make in the painting, but when I did the painting, I realized that the empty green space was not really looking that good, and like there was just a lot of negative space. So I realized that there should be something there that is eye-catching. And I think this is a tip for all of you, that whenever you make a painting, do not leave like a huge negative space, because in that space is what's going to attract the viewer's attention. Unless that is what you want, you should not leave as a random negative spaces. Make something or the other, like even these small little butterflies is what makes the painting complete, you know. So try and not leave too much negative space in your paintings. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but a trend in all of my paintings is doing the background first and then making something on top of it. Like that is something that I do in all of my paintings. So I love trying out different things on the background. Like I love just putting together a lot of colors and then blending them in different directions and seeing what the outcome is. So in most of my paintings, this is what I do. I just make the background first with whatever colors I feel like I should use, or whatever colors I think would go with the mood of the painting, and after that I decide how or what should I make on top of the background. So that is a very easy way, I would say, to go about it, because yeah, there's nothing that can go wrong. You just make a background and you make something on top of it. It's the easiest abstract painting that you can make. So this was it about my canvases. I think I told you about like 6-7 of my canvases, and I have a lot more of them. I have like over 20 canvases. So let me know if you want another video where I tell you more about my canvases and acrylic painting and abstract art or whatever, because I would love to share my knowledge with you guys, whatever little knowledge I have with you guys. And yeah, if you did like this video, if you did find it helpful, do click the like button, share it with your other friends who want to start this painting journey and they need some motivation. And of course, subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button, because I want you to be a part of this family so that we can grow together and I can show you many more videos about my life, about painting, about fashion, about lifestyle, and a lot more things to come. So subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.